Okay, hey everyone, it's Guard again, and I'm gonna play in a draft today. Hopefully. So, best cards in the pack. It's, it's a card of it's a bunch of like kind of what do you want to do sort of packs. The best card in for constructed, like if I wanted to play a constructed deck, would be Leyline Golem, and actually I might take it because of that. Because the cards are like pretty close in quality, I think. Portal Shade's okay. It's a pretty good card. Has a decent body, a good body, and a decent effect. Hard to activate. Ash Maiden's really, really, really good if you can like build around it, but it's pretty small in rank 1, so it's hard to make work. Pterodonrex is okay. They took out I don't I can't remember what they took out to make this deck not as great. The dinosaur deck. Maybe it's because Utera Tempest is just kind of underwhelming this time. Progeny of Zith is okay. Kind of shoehorns you into a sort of Spirit Leash crypt. Can't remember what that card is called. Corpse Crawler deck. And Flamebreak Invoker is also pretty good, but requires a lot of spells. It makes up for that by being like pretty big. 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 16. I'm just going to take the Leyline Golem because it's a card that I really want for Constructed. And it's a decent card in its own right. It's pretty easy to activate because all it requires is mobility. And when the cards are close like that, I usually just pick the best card for Constructed because this I get to keep all the cards here. The only cards worth taking here are Loyan. I could either take Skynet Glider or Matrix Warden. I tend to take Matrix Warden because it pumps the. It's a really solid body, or it's a really small body, but it's got a really good effect. And even though Skynet Glider is great, I think I prefer Matrix Warden. Usually, how I play Aloyan, the Suspirian combo, is with Deep Branch or Branch Weaver Druids, or Rolling Warclaws and try to play Spring Dryads. But I think Grave Matriarch's just enough better than Branch Weaver Dryad to make me take it. And these spells are not very good. Sap is level gated, which makes it not great. And Legion Reign's just really mediocre effect, so we're gonna take Chiselhard Hunter. I don't like Spirit Stone Druid because it's too small and situational, but Siphon Augmentation is also pretty situational, so just gonna go for the Druid here. I think the best cards in the back. Let me sort by attack and make it large. So Matrix Warden's a robot, and that's pretty much it. I think the robots are Matrix Warden, Forge Guardian Beta, and War Tinker's not great because if it's one of the cards you level and you don't have a robot, it's really small. It's not worth playing if you don't have a robot. Ursine Strength is always solid. It's a really solid pump spell. It's +3/+3 at rank 1, and if you're rank 2 or higher, it's 5/5. Then if it's underleveled, it's 5/5, 9/9, and 13/13, which is huge. And if you level it, it's still +7/+7 at rank 2. So I think Steelskin Splunker is also pretty good. That's a really solid card. But Ursine Strength is sufficiently good enough. And I'm just going to take 2 of them here. Grove Hunter is also good, as is Whispers is okay, but I really like Ursine Strength. It helps you make your bad creatures good. There's a lot of bad creatures in Aloyan. This is an interesting choice. I could take Overwhelming Forces here, and I'm going to do this. One, it's a heroic, and it rewards me for growing wide, like playing a bunch of creatures like Spiritstone Druid or Branch Weaver Druid that I don't have. And I can pick up these Grove Matrix or Matrix Wardens at any time. This lets me play a bunch of cards and then have them be good later on with the +3 attack for everything. And Crucible Colossus is okay. I still tend to prefer Grove Matriarch because it might be wrong actually. Yeah, Crucible Colossus is big enough and it's a rare, so just gonna take the Force for 8. It's either Featherfang or Steel Eye Researcher. I think I'm gonna take Steel Eye Researcher because of the Grove Matriarch I have and the Spirit Stone Druid, which edges it out in terms of usefulness. Featherfang's only got 4 toughness, but has 1 more attack. I could take Venom Fang, Steel Eye Researcher, Mauler, or Aegis Wings. I cannot remember what Aegis Wings does exactly. Oh, so it gives it +3 attack, and if it's not the highest power creature in play, it doesn't do anything else. But if it is, it gets mobility 1 at every level, and then armor scaling, which is okay. I don't want to take it. It's a little too situational for my tastes. I think I'm just going to take the Venom Fang. It's a solid Utera creature. It's sort of like a removal spell. It's not really a removal spell, but it's good enough. Excuse me. Metamind Overseer is okay. It's just like a 5/6. That's really, really good at the end of rank 1 because it lets you draw your rank 2 cards. Shardplate Crusher is what I call fertilizer. It makes the creature that replaces it bigger. I don't know if I can afford to play it because I don't have any like. It's kind of like a pump spell you have to play before the creature, which is not great. But sometimes it's got cool synergies with cards like Spiritstone Druid or Steel Eye Researcher. But I don't have any of those cards. I'm not going to take Cavern Hydra because it's too small. And Jetpack, I have 2 walls. Crucible Colossus loses Defender on its own. Forge Guardian has its own thing. But I'd rather take a creature than a spell at this point, I think. Actually, you know what? I think the first Jetpack is probably better than the Metamind Overseer. And this gets really big at rank 2, right? It's an 8/8, and then it's gigantic at rank 3. This is a 9/8 and a 15/13. It helps you draw out your leveled cards. I don't actually know what I think Forge Guardian. Wow, I can't speak. Forge Guardian Beta is better. And I take the Matriarch. I could take a lot of Matriarchs here. So my pick is between Matriarch, Warden, or Steelskin Spelunker. I don't really have anything I need to put in the Steel center lane. Like, I don't know if there's that much in this set because they took out Nexus Pilot from set 1. But Steelskin Spelunker is still really solid. I could take another Grove Matriarch, but I don't really have a lot to work with it. Like, all I have is the Steel Eye Researcher and the Overwhelming Forces. I could take the second Matrix Warden. I consider Matrix Warden one of the better alloying creatures in the set, because it makes your bad creatures good, which is useful when I'm playing cards like Grove Matriarch, Spiritstone Druid, all these cards that have pretty low power. So I think I'm just going to take the Matrix Warden. And then I take Spring Dryad, because this is what I've been looking for. The Deep Branch Ancient is a heroic, and it's okay, but it's nowhere near as good as Spring Dryad. It's only good if you have a creature in every lane, and I don't have enough Branch Weaver Druids or Roaming Orclaws for that to be the case. Whereas Spring Dryad works by playing creatures, I don't just have to have them all in one lane. This works really well with my pump spells. When it has a certain amount of attack, it gets mobility and armor. And the mobility scales, I believe, right? Yeah, mobility 1, mobility 2, mobility 3. Sweet. Steel Watch Guard, when it replaces something, it gets +3/+3, or it like doubles its power, which is really strong. I might take that instead of another Grove Matriarch. Because having all these Grove Matriarchs and Matrix Wardens, I have a lot of creatures that are just kind of really small and don't really do a whole lot. So I think taking like, it's not that impressive at rank 1, it's only a 6/6. But at rank 2, it's a 14/14 and a 22/22, which is huge. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'd rather take the bad creature or the bad spell. Because this spell, even though I usually prefer situational spells, Sap isn't really situational. It's level gated and mediocre. It doesn't take away their abilities or anything, it just takes away their power. Whereas Cerebral Scout has the chance to level the other Metamind. Oh, I don't have a Metamind yet, but that's whatever. It's still better. Tower Scout's okay, because it's got mobility 1. But I'm going to take the Grove Matriarch because of the replace card that I just took. Plus, I would probably even take Strength in Numbers over Tower Scout. I think Palladium Wave is not that bad. I haven't played with it very much, to be honest. But I think it's better than all these other spells and these other creatures. Like, the Deep Branch Prowler is okay, but my deck's not aggressive enough to win early. I only have Matrix Wardens, and I can't pump its power at all unless I have Earthsign Strength. Actually, I'm talking myself into this Deep Branch Prowler. Because Earthsign Strengthening a Deep Branch Prowler makes a very large Deep Branch Prowler. And the Breakthrough makes me do a lot of damage. It's probably worth it, actually. Between that or Palladium Wave, yeah, I'm going to try the Deep Branch Prowler. And then I can take another Crucible Colossus to have a solid blocker. eventually becomes an attacker. I could take another Deep Branch Prowler, but I don't think it's necessary. I'd rather have the Venom thing. It scales a lot better and poison, which is kind of like some semblance of removal. And I just take the Forge Guardian over the Avalon Enforcer, because Avalon Enforcer has very, very little attack. It does a lot of defense, but so does Forge Guardian Alpha. And with the jetpack I have, I can make it attack. So we've got 5 cards left in this draft. I'm going to take the Leyline Sentry. It's pretty good in draft because there's a lot of cards that come into play, like Grove Matrix, Sapling, and all that sort of stuff. It's a heroic that's good and constructed, so that's like the two things you're looking for the most when you're playing a casual draft. So this pack isn't even close, actually. 2 really good ley lines. It's a pretty successful draft already. I could take the Crucible Colossus for a 3rd one, but I think I'm going to take the Aloyan General to make my small creatures a little bigger. I guess I just take another Deep Branch Prowler here. Has a lot more upside than the other creatures. Strength in Numbers is a good spell. It's not that great at rank 1. And then I take a Growth Huntress, because it's really solid. I'm not too sold on this deck. I think it's okay. I think I'm going to have to play pretty well to make the most of it. But I did get 2 really good heroics, which already makes up for it. Plus the that's actually pretty much all I got for constructed. But the ley lines are so good that I would consider this deck a success.